Good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful summer day out. Oh, and the cottonwood trees are sending out their seeds, the little cotton balls with a little teeny seed in it. It just there's a large giant cottonwood over on the other yard, the other lot next to us, and the cotton balls come so they float. It's there's no wind or anything. It's just a gentle breeze, and they float like little snowflakes in the summer, and you can see right through them. They're just beautiful, almost mystical. The Indians in the Plains Indians, the Sioux, had loved the cottonwood tree because it sparkled when the wind blew. The leaves are so shiny, but also the cotton comes and it comes out off the tree, and the sunshine suffuses it, and everything is graceful and beautiful, and the cotton just goes and finds a place to place the seed for future growth. So I'm just so happy to be with you during this cottonwood seed time, during this summertime, in the middle of summer. I have something very serious to talk to you about. God's calling us to happiness. He rose from the dead. We're out of slavery. We're just reading during the weekday readings, Exodus, that the people were in the land of bondage. That the Egyptian Pharaoh was treating them like slaves and enslaving them. And they couldn't have freedom of religion. They couldn't. Their boy children were being killed, thrown into the Nile. They were being sorely oppressed, and how God felt for them. Oh, he told Moses, "I hear the cry of my people." And he sent Moses to be the instrument to go to Pharaoh and ask that. To let my people go, let God's people go. Well, God's done that for us today. Ever since the 60s, there was a revolution, a cultural revolution, and one of those revolutions is the sexual revolution, and it's just caused great havoc, this revolution. Marriages have broken up. There's a false sense of freedom. I want to be happy. I don't want to be tied down with kids, and I want to pursue my own goals in life. I want to be fulfilled. I don't want to be tied down with any commitments, and that was brought about marriage breakup. It brought about a whole new way of looking at sexuality. Do what you want to do. If it gives you pleasure and doesn't hurt anybody, do what you want to do. It does hurt people when we use them as objects, and we see our young people. They don't have. Our generations never taught them how to be pure and see their bodies as temples of the Holy Spirit. That my mom used to tell us kids, every cell in our body is precious to God, and we're not for sale. We're not to give it away, but only to hold it for love of God, love of to be pure for Him, the love of our future spouse. If we're called to that, we don't have to give that away, nothing away, until we can give it to Him and to her in the gift of the Holy Sacrament of marriage. So God is calling us to all this now, especially today. And I see raising up heroic families with large families, and not pursuing every buck, everything a career can squeeze out life, but giving love and self-sacrifice in their love for each other, practicing natural family planning, practicing conjugal chastity, not divorcing their gift of themselves from their gift of fertility, but openness, total openness to life, to each other, everything, not just part, everything we're called to give, 100. Somebody said 50-50. I said 50-50, where's the other 50 going? To self? That's not the way God said. The greater love than this, God's called it. Jesus said, I have one commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. And as I have loved you, Uh, he said the next the sentence was, "Greater love than this no man has than to lay down his life for his brother." So that's a gift, total gift. There's not some left over for me on the side or something like that. That's not love. Love is always gift of self, and without measure, without counting the gift of ourselves. In marriage, par excellence, and I see also many heroic marriages. And what I want to talk to you about today is about senior citizens. I just heard a sermon that besides the youth in what they call STD, sexual sexual transmitted diseases, STD. Besides the youth and all the promiscuity that's happening because they don't know, Father, they do not know what they are doing. The society is giving them a bum steer. But the next segment of our population, and this was so shocking, I just, 20% of our population are STD, and they're worried about this dumb diseases popping up later on and all that. And we don't have to do that. And those who have that and all, don't worry, God will help you. And He loves you in that. He hears your cry. That shame and that wondering what's going to happen next, what's going to show up next in our bodies. That God loves you there. Don't give up. Be chaste and pure and beautiful. Be a model of integrity in all your being and all your transactions in love. But the next thing to get sexually transmitted diseases, the population is the people that should be our role model, the people that should show us the wisdom of life, what it really counts, are the senior citizens, retired people, widows or widowers. They've got caught up in this sexual revolution too. And I know, I'm one myself, and I know when my Cindy died, you're very vulnerable. I mean, someone does something nice to you, start crying, especially a woman, the opposite sex. You're so vulnerable. So there's no condemnation in my words. But I see, I had a great friend, she's in heaven now, who was a widow, who saw what was happening to her fellow widows and widowers. They were going to the casino. They were throwing all their money away. And they were being exploited by people who saw their vulnerability and took them to the hotel afterwards and used them and hurt them and made them all messed up, where they couldn't look their grandchildren in the eye, where they felt so shamed and messed up. And those they would stop and it would be horrible. But others got caught up in that whole culture, the casino and the cruise and the love boat and all these senior things and getting in each other's room and all that kind of stuff. So our senior citizens, and I'm one, and I know how vulnerable I am. I'm one of you. To be the needy for friendship and love. This is wonderful. I'm just telling a dearest friend how wonderful friendship is. She's also a senior citizen too, and we can be pure and we can love each other and before our grandchildren and our everyone, the church and everyone, we can, and it's a joy and a happiness. I call them sweet restraints, to keep us always love and never to exploit each other and or hurt each other, even in our thoughts, forbid in our actions. So I do encourage senior citizens to be our model. If there was a relationship or there is, pray to the Lord to clean it up, to make it beautiful before God and man. And if there's something that's an exploitive kind of thing, drop it. Run from it like a plague. It will only cause all these things with the STDs and the commotion and the hiding and the bad conscience. And I have just seen so many people. I know this one person, he knows better, but he's just messing around and he's hurting his family. And everybody don't know what to say to Dad. You know, he's totally miserable. So he's a senior citizen, and so and should know better. And anyway, I do encourage the senior citizens to live their lives not on the deck of a cruise ship every year. To live their lives, if they're going to give away their money, the kids' inheritance, fine, but give it away to the poor. I know people that spend more money on the bar. Their bar, I was at one table. Overheard at a restaurant how much they spent on a bar the night before the weekend. It was astronomical, and I wondered, well, what do they do for the poor? The poor that's dying of hunger right now. What did he do for the people in the neighborhood, or those big families that need help? I don't think they do very much. My gut was they might not even give much in the collection to support the church, to support the good works of the church, the charitable things, the missions, all the missions. So if there's any money going down, the most depressing place I've ever walked into was the casinos, especially where there was all those slot machines. All I hear is bells and stuff like that. I just hear a little murmuring, and they're so quiet. It's like what are they doing? They're all so self-absorbed, totally absorbed, and taking a drink. They're just sort of out of their tree, and I can't. To my detriment, I cannot find a redemptive reason for those casinos. You know, it's all self-absorption. It's all get rich fast. It's all just pleasure, you know, just get sort of, and they return home so full because it's the food. They return home sort of hungover and broke, and it's no good, and it doesn't renew the spirit. The vacations are supposed to renew our spirit, and to see the beauties of nature, and yes, to enjoy a nice meal. All of those are good things, but other things could pull us down. So to our senior citizens, I beg you, have a wonderful prayer life. Turn off that TV, pray, have your prayer table, beat the Lord every day at your prayer time. Go to daily mass when you can. Love your children. Help them out when they need help. You know, you can't take it with you, and they'll just fight over it after you die. You know. Sometimes it doesn't help. They get a whole bunch and they buy a yacht that they don't need or whatever. Love them now when you can help them, when you can share your property and your riches while they're alive. You don't need a lot anymore. All you need is the Lord, and prepare yourself for His coming when we die. We just have a few years left. Let us live passionately those few years with love, not in self-absorption, in a belated adolescence, and that doesn't inspire anybody. But what inspires is love and kindness and generosity, and God's grace will make you that in your prayer life, in your generosity for those especially in need in your family or in the world. God bless you.